Hey there everyone, welcome back to Measure and Mix. Today I have 3 brand new Dollar Tree fall DIYs for you guys. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Make sure to stick around by hitting the subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell so you get notified when I upload a new video. All right, let's get started. This DIY, I'm going to make a fall planter box. I'm going to use 4 of these wooden and galvanized metal frames from Dollar Tree. I'm going to remove the little clips on the galvanized metal just by pulling them off. They come off pretty easily, and there is a little screw that's left in them, but I thought that that would be better to see the screw than a hole. And then I flipped them over on the back, and I did remove the little stand from each one of the frames as well. And when I went to remove the other little clips, I did use some pliers just to make it a little bit easier. Then after that was done, I am just going to go ahead and glue the frames together to create a box. I just glued them all on the short sides just to make a square box. Next, I need a bottom for my box, so I just took a piece of scrap foam board from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to take a pencil and place my box over the foam board and trace the inside of my box, so that way I know that it's going to fit snugly inside that box. And how many times am I going to say box? Anyways, I am just going to take a little X-Acto knife from Dollar Tree and cut out that square, and then I am going to just place that right inside the box, and it fits really snugly inside there, but I am going to go ahead and add a little bit of hot glue around the seams where the foam board touches the box, so that way it doesn't come up or fall out of the bottom. Dollar Tree has some really pretty fall florals out right now, so I picked up 2 bunches of these peonies in like a white cream color, and since I will probably be using these for a different DIY project later on, I didn't want to cut the stems, so I just bent the stems upward and placed them inside the box. Of course, you can cut them and place them in floral foam, it's up to you, but I just did this so that way I could use the florals later on in the season. And then I picked up 3 bunches of these pretty hydrangeas from Dollar Tree. I love these colors. I think they're just so pretty and unique for fall. And again, I just bent the stems upward and placed them inside the box and kind of just played with it to make the flowers sit right. Then the last thing I added was these 2 floral picks with some berries and the little white pumpkins. And I love these. They are just so pretty. And that was it to this. It just makes a cute, pretty little floral centerpiece for fall. For this DIY, I wanted to make a wood chip wreath, so I picked up one of these green wreath forms from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to go ahead and paint it with some of my chiffon cream chalk paint by Rust-Oleum, and that way if anything shows through, it will be the cream color instead of the green. And then for the wood chips, I picked up 4 packs of these craft sticks. 60 come in a pack, and what I did was I just cut off the ends of each craft stick. I did about 1 inch to 1.5 inches for each craft stick. I didn't make them perfect or all equal because I just wanted to make sure that I had ones that were different size in case I needed them to fit in different spots when I was putting them on the wreath. Okay, now it was time to put the wood on the wreath. And I'm not gonna lie, I attempted this 3 times before I finally did this process that I'm showing you here. So the first thing that I did was I just started on the outside of the wreath, and I took a piece of the wood and I hot glued it down to the outside of the top of the wreath, and I kind of turned it outwards, and then I took a second piece and I hot glued that overlapping that first piece halfway, maybe a little bit halfway down that first piece. I glued it, and then I turned that more inward toward the middle of the wreath, so it was kind of staggered. And then I took a third piece and hot glued that over top both of those pieces, turning that one outward. So I kind of did like every other one. And I did those 3 pieces. And then from there, I was trying to figure out what to do next, if I should just keep going down and around the wreath, or if I should work my way upwards by tucking a piece of wood up and under those first 2 pieces that I hot glued down. So that is actually what I ended up doing. I started tucking them under and working my way up around the wreath instead of down. So I just added some hot glue in between those first 2 pieces, and then I just placed my piece there. And that way, this is going to give me that 3D look that I want, so that way all the pieces aren't laying flat on the wreath. By tucking those pieces up underneath those first pieces and working my way up and around the wreath, I think that gave me more of a 3D effect with the wood chips, rather than just by gluing them down and kind of overlapping them, because when I tried it before, it was just coming out all flat and it just didn't have that 3D effect that I was looking for, that resembled the wood chip wreaths that are in the stores for $80. So I think doing this actually gave me that 3D effect that I was going for. So I just kept working my way up and around the wreath, and then also working my way towards that inner ring of the wreath, just by adding the pieces and staggering them and pushing them out one way and another way, kind of just playing around with it as I went. So I worked my way up and around the wreath until I got to the beginning where I had started at, and that just, the end just overlapped that beginning, so that way it covered it up nicely and everything flowed together. Then once I finished that, I realized that the inner ring wasn't covered enough, so I came back with some more popsicle sticks and tucked those up underneath that last layer there towards the inner side, and went all the way around, and then I went all the way around again. So I did 2 layers like that just to cover that inner ring, and I think it just helped form a better circle and make this look a little more chunkier and cover that side, so it made it look a little more finished than it was before. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this wreath did take a long time to finish. It took about an hour and a half to maybe 2 hours to finish this wreath. It was simple once I started going and I figured out the method and how I wanted to do it, but just getting it figured out, I think, was the hardest part of this wreath. Gluing everything down and just tucking everything up underneath really didn't take or really wasn't as hard. It just was figuring out how to lay everything so that way you could have a 3D wreath. But I think it looks cute, and for $5, I mean, I can't beat that compared to the ones that they're selling for $80 out at the stores. I used my blow dryer to blow dry the piece to get the glue strings off, so that way it wouldn't have a stringy mess. And then I came back with my Rust-Oleum chalked paint in the chiffon cream and spray painted it, and I think it just makes it look more even and more fall. By doing that, you don't have to spray paint it, or you could spray paint it a different color or add berries or leaves or flowers to it to make it look more fall, but I just like the neutral of it, and I can actually use it all year round. The last thing that I did was just add a little twine hanger just by looping it around and hot gluing it to the back, and that was it. I love how it turned out. I finally found some of these houses from Dollar Tree, so I picked up 3 of them, 1 in each size that I could find, and I'm going to be painting the inside of them. So the first thing that I did was just take a piece of sandpaper and lightly sand the inside of each one of them, so that way the paint will stick better, and hopefully I won't need any more coats than just one. Now I did start off by painting the inside with this orange color that I mixed up, but it was way too bright and too bold. It looked more Halloweenish kind of, I guess, and it didn't cover in one coat. So I switched to the Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the Country Gray, and I just went ahead and painted the inside of each house. And it actually did only take one coat of the chalk paint, so that was nice. I let those dry, and once they were all dry, I just laid out my houses next to each other, and then I just hot glued the sides of them together so that it would be one long piece. And you can switch this up however you would like with the sizes. Then the next thing that I did was I had one of these pumpkins left over from last year, so I just pulled the clip off and I just placed it in the corner of one of the houses on the right hand side. And then I had a galvanized welcome sign from Dollar Tree last year, and I placed that right next to the pumpkin on the bottom there. And then I just hot glued everything together. And honestly, this was so easy, but it looks so pretty and elegant for fall. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to check out my other fall videos, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.